Hello, everybody. This is Math25, Precalculus. My name's Alan Marigold. I'll be your professor this semester. Hopefully, you guys have had time to log into Canvas and take a look around. I only have a few things here, so we'll kind of go through them a little bit as an introduction, and then we'll cut the video there. The next video I upload will be a little lecture on section 1.1. We're going to be using the first week as kind of a review. Stuff that you guys have already seen before, but just a chance to refresh on it before we get deep into pre-calculus. You guys may find that the first week is a little slow, maybe boring for some of you, but I'm sure we'll quickly pick up and it'll seem like we're sprinting until the end of the semester. So the way I've tried to set up the course is as simple as I can, honestly. I'm not a very complicated person. I prefer doing things simply, and hopefully you guys prefer it as well. We won't be having any discussions to turn in, any projects. This is purely going to be assignments, homework assignments that you guys use for practice, quizzes, so you guys can get some feedback on how well you think you're doing in the course, or on a specific topic, and then exams. So I'm going to head over to the syllabus so we can cover that briefly together. Alright, so like I said before, my name's Alan. I don't have an office, and I'm not sure when office hours will be yet, but as soon as I do know, I will let you guys know that I've updated the syllabus. I'll probably put in an announcement about office hours. I'm assuming most of you will want it via Zoom, but if there are any people who want to see me during in-person office hours, you're welcome to do so. The textbook that we're going to be using is free. It's an open source math textbook on OpenStax called Algebra and Trigonometry. You can download a PDF here. It's totally free. If you do want a hard copy, you can buy one from Amazon, but that's totally your choice and up to you. We'll mainly be using the textbook to do homework problems from. So this is a 4-unit course, so as a general rule of thumb, you can expect about 2 hours of outside class for every unit. So in this 4-unit course, you can expect about 8 hours of outside classwork. So, whether that counts as homework or just study time, everybody's different. Some of you may find yourself spending more time than this. Some of you may find yourself spending less time. That's totally like a personal thing. So the homework in this class is all practice. It's for you guys. You can do as much or as little as you need to, that you find you need to. If you feel like you understand the topic and all the problems, you don't have to unnecessarily do all 50 problems. Like, that's not going to help you, right? I don't need you guys to spend 3 hours on homework if it's not going to do anything for you. So, yeah, if you find yourself that you think you understand the topic, then, you don't have to do any more problems from that section. You can move on. That said, if you still don't understand a topic and you feel like you've done a good amount of problems, like, you should probably do more. If you still feel shaky on it, you can come to office hours and talk to me if you need help. We do have the Panther Learning Lab as a resource, which is a tutoring center here. I've left the link for it somewhere here in Canvas. The quizzes, we're going to have a quiz once a week. So if we have a quiz on Thursday, not this Thursday, of course, but let's say we have it next Thursday, it's going to be on the stuff that we covered um, the previous 3 days, for instance. Generally, it's going to cover the previous 2 days, but I don't want to throw a quiz on you guys the second day of the semester, so we're not going to have a quiz this week. But generally, we're going to have it once a week. Now, why am I giving you guys quizzes once a week? Is it because I want to punish you? No, it's not. It's so I can track your progress and give you feedback, because I'm not going to be grading the homework assignments. I'm not going to be collecting them. Like I said, that's kind of for you guys. The quizzes are going to be the way that I can, give you guys a couple of problems, see how you guys do on them, give you feedback so you know how well you understand the material. And it gives you also a clue of how I'm going to grade exams. So I will give you guys points for problems on the quizzes, but it's not part of your grade. It's just to kind of give you a clue on how well you did on the problem. The quizzes are, as long as you do them, you put some effort in, you're going to get full points on them. I don't think it's not my philosophy to constantly be slamming you guys with stress and quizzes and exams and stuff, so I try to keep them spaced out, and that way you guys spend most of the time just worrying about learning and understanding the material, as opposed to just like taking quizzes and exams all the time. For the most part, I've planned 3 exams and 1 final. If somehow we get time for a 4th exam somewhere before the final, I'll use that 4th exam to replace the lowest score that you have on any exam up to that point. So it'll only work for your benefit. The weekly quizzes will make a good study guide for exams, and look for problems in the textbooks that cover the same topics that are in the exams, or in the quizzes, excuse me. I've made a few mistakes here in this grading, but essentially, it's the typical 90 to 100, 80 to 90, 70 to 80, 60 to 70, and less than 60. Pretty typical. The grading scheme is going to be also very simple. Quizzes 20%, exam 1 20%, exam 2 20%, exam 3 20%, and the final 20%. And since this is, based on participation, if you take every quiz and you participate, you're basically going to lock in 20% for free, right? So you just have to earn the rest of the points through the exams and stuff. And like I said, if we are able to have a 4th exam and time allows us to, then we can do that and replace one of the other exam grades if you do poorly on one. So let's say you take the first exam and you do poorly, don't stress, we can talk about it, we can see what went wrong, and we can try to fix it for the next one. What I'm more concerned about with you guys is just making sure you understand the material, so when you move on to calculus, you're not struggling with concepts that you should have learned here, right? So that pretty much does it for the syllabus. I may update this at some point. If I do, I'll let you guys know via an announcement. But for the most part, the grading, the quizzes, the exams, the homework's not going to change. Okay. Let's head back to the home page really quickly. So we'll head over to the announcements for most everything else, but I've also put a few things here. We just went through the syllabus. In one of the announcements, I have a tentative schedule for what we're going to be doing this semester. And then every so often, I'm going to upload my lectures in the assignments tab with what you guys should be doing for an assignment. Like I said, I won't be collecting or grading the homeworks, but those are the things that you guys should be working on. And then this is just like another place for how to submit the exam. So let's just jump to the announcement so we can talk about it there. So I'm only going to accept submissions in PDF, right? If you have it in a different file format, I'm not going to accept that. Everything should be in PDF. I recommend using Microsoft Lens. This is a link for the Google Play Store. This is a link for the Apple Store. Essentially, you can, do your quizzes and exams on paper like normal, and then use this app and scan your work. It'll allow you to add more than one file, so it'll be just one big PDF, and it makes it so it looks flat and smooth, not blurry. When you guys do take these pictures, I expect you to put some effort into it. You know, if I can't read the I can't read what you wrote because you took a terrible picture, I'm not going to be able to grade it. So you're only doing yourself a disservice. The quizzes and exams aren't timed, so there's no rush. You don't need to scribble, you know, all over the place. Take your time, write neatly so I can read it. The quizzes and exams will be administered online. I'm going to give you guys a PDF of the problems that I expect you to do, and then you can use your phone to scan it and submit the assignment. And all this basically says is this app that I recommend here. So the assignment I've created for you, you know, the directions are here, and you go to the assignments tab and you'll click here and you'll submit your file. Now, a few of you guys have already submitted submissions, and most of them look good. However, some of you guys didn't read the announcements and just submitted some things that I didn't ask for. I've kicked the assignment back to you if you want to earn that extra point. But at the end of the day, guys, like it's up to you. If you want to, you know, not put any effort into how you're taking your pictures and make everything blurry and stuff, it's only going to affect you guys poorly. So I recommend just spending a little bit of time and making sure that everything looks good before you guys submit it. Yeah, so this is going to be the first assignment of the semester. The tentative schedule, this basically just goes over kind of what I've talked about before. The homework's all going to come out from our textbook. I encourage you to do every third problem in every assigned section. In section 1.2, we're not going to cover most of it because a lot of the scientific notation stuff is not kind of relevant to our topics. But like I said, it all depends on how you feel on a specific topic. If you feel like you understand it, if you feel like you can do all the problems, you don't need to sit there and do 60 problems for, you know, just for fun. Do as many as you need to until you think you understand it, and then when the quiz that rolls around Thursday comes, you'll know whether you actually understand it or if you have to go back and do more problems. If you feel shaky on a topic, do as many problems until you're like, okay, like I totally got this section. And the thing is, if you put that work in before the quiz, by the time you take the quiz, you'll know, you know, whether you did well. But if you don't really do any problems and you take the quiz and you do poorly, and then you go back and, you know, like spend more time to master the topic, well, there's not going to be a quiz on that topic anymore. So, you know, it pays to do stuff in advance. You know, do it when it's assigned before the quiz comes up. So yeah, the quizzes will test your proficiency. Don't skip the homework and just rely on taking quizzes. This will rob you from checking how well you understand the material. This type of check is crucial if you want to perform well on exams, and you want to perform well on exams since they're 80% of the course grade. Be honest with yourself so you can perform well in the course. You know, don't do one or two problems and be like, okay, like I totally got this section, because generally the harder problems are at the end of the section, right? Not at the beginning. Here are the topics and sections we're going to be covering this semester, with an exam sprinkled in every so often. All these sections are subject to change. It's going to depend on how fast we're moving through everything. I may be able to add a few things in that I think will be really helpful for your calculus sequence, or if we're going, you know, if we're struggling, if we're going slowly, I may have to take stuff out. But for the most part, this is kind of going to be a rough outline of all the topics that we're going to be covering this semester. And I think that is mostly it. We went over the syllabus. We talked about the announcements. Yeah, so I'm going to kind of wrap up this video here. If you guys have any questions or any concerns, you guys can email me. And the next video I upload will be just the lecture on 1.1. So I'll see you guys later.